Let me ask you something. Have you ever wondered why some people seem unstoppable while others hold back, waiting for the perfect moment? The truth is, the difference is not luck, not talent, not even opportunity. The difference is mindset. The way you think about yourself, your actions, and your future can transform everything. This is not just about learning English, it is about learning life. In this episode, you will see how your thoughts and actions shape who you become. By the end, you will understand why confidence is not something you are born with, but something you create, step by step, with practice and belief. You will discover how small actions build big results, how faking it can actually help you make it, and why waiting for the right time often means missing your chance. As we go through this journey together, you will not only practice English listening, but also grow stronger inside. Think of this as training both your language and your life. If you stay with me until the end, you will leave with practical tools to change the way you think and act every single day. So, are you ready to explore how mindset and action can truly change your destiny? Let's dive in. Can confidence be learned, or is it natural? Confidence may look natural from the outside, but it is almost always built, not born. People you see walking with certainty, speaking with power, and leading with influence. They were not born that way. They learned to believe in themselves by taking action, even when they felt unsure. True confidence grows from practice. Every time you do something difficult, you prove to yourself that you are capable. That memory becomes a brick in the foundation of self-belief. Over time, those bricks build strong walls of confidence. The problem is, many learners and dreamers wait until they feel ready. But readiness does not come first. Action comes first, and confidence follows. Think of learning English. If you wait until you are perfect, you will never speak. But when you try, even with mistakes, you build proof that you can communicate. Slowly, your fear turns into courage. The same is true in life. Confidence is not a gift, it is a skill. It is built by repetition, by showing up, and by refusing to give up. So if you feel nervous, remember this. Your nerves are not a sign that you cannot do it. They are a sign that you are on the edge of growth. Step forward anyway. Why does action matter more than waiting for motivation? Motivation feels exciting, but it is not reliable. Some days you wake up full of energy, ready to take on the world. Other days you feel heavy and slow. If you wait for motivation to move, you will remain stuck. Action, however, is stronger. When you take even a small step, your brain starts to release energy, focus, and drive. Action creates momentum, and momentum carries you further than waiting ever will. Think about exercise. If you wait until you feel like running, you may never go. But if you put on your shoes and start walking, soon your body warms up and motivation follows. The same is true with studying English, starting a project, or building a new habit. The first step feels hard, but once you start, your mind wakes up and pushes you forward. Many people believe they need motivation before they can act. The truth is the opposite. You need action first, and motivation will catch up. This is why discipline is so powerful. Discipline means you act because you decided, not because you feel like it. And every time you act without waiting for feelings, you train your brain to trust you. Over time, this trust becomes strength, and strength becomes success. How does acting as if actually work? The idea of acting as if may sound strange, but it is one of the most effective ways to grow. It means behaving like the person you want to become, even before you feel ready. If you want to be confident, you act with confidence. If you want to be disciplined, you follow routines like disciplined people do. At first, it may feel like pretending, but pretending is not lying. It is practicing. When you practice confidence, your brain begins to accept it as real. Your posture changes, your tone changes, and your results change. Imagine walking into a room with your head down versus walking tall, with steady steps. Even if inside you feel nervous, the outside action sends a message to your brain. I am capable. Over time, this message becomes your truth. Think of English learners who avoid speaking because they are shy. If they start acting like confident speakers, smiling, trying, making eye contact, their skill grows, and so does their belief. The secret is that your brain cannot fully tell the difference between action and reality. By acting as if, you train yourself to embody the identity you want. Little by little, the act becomes authentic. Why is identity more powerful than goals? Goals are useful, but they are not enough. A goal is something you want to achieve, lose weight, learn English, earn money. But identity is who you believe you are. If you say, I want to learn English, that is a goal. If you say, I am an English speaker, that is identity. Identity is stronger because it directs every choice you make. When you act from identity, your habits follow naturally. A runner runs not because of a goal, but because that is who they are. A disciplined person organizes their time because discipline is part of their identity. Goals can inspire you for a short time, but identity carries you for life. When you shift your self-talk from I want to into I am, you connect your daily actions with your deeper self. For English learners, this means you no longer see practice as a chore. Instead, you see it as part of who you are. You say, I am the kind of person who practices English daily. That belief guides your actions without struggle. So the key is not just to set goals, but to create the identity that matches the future you want. What role does self-talk play in transformation? Self-talk is the voice inside your head. It can be your best friend or your worst enemy. When your self-talk is negative, I'm not good enough, I will fail, I can't do this. Your brain listens and acts accordingly. But when your self-talk is positive, I am capable, I am learning, I will improve, your brain also listens, and it begins to find ways to make that belief true. This is why self-talk is so powerful. It does not only reflect your current state, it also shapes your future. Every time you speak kindly to yourself, you plant seeds of growth. Every time you repeat empowering phrases, you strengthen your courage. Think about how you talk to a close friend. You encourage them. You remind them of their strengths. You support them. Why not do the same for yourself? Self-talk is not about ignoring reality. It is about choosing words that build you, not break you. The more you practice, the more natural it becomes. Over time, your inner voice changes from doubt to trust, and that shift can change everything. Why is failure essential for success? Failure feels painful, but it is not the end. It is the process. Every successful person you admire has failed, often many times. Failure teaches lessons that success cannot. It shows you what does not work. It reveals gaps in your preparation, and it builds resilience. If you avoid failure, you also avoid growth. The fear of failure keeps many people trapped, waiting for the perfect moment. But the truth is, perfection never comes. Mistakes are the path to mastery. Think of a child learning to walk. They fall again and again, but each fall teaches balance, and soon they can run. Imagine if a child gave up after the first fall. They would never learn. Adults are the same. When you fail at speaking English at a job interview or in a project, you are collecting valuable data. You are learning what to improve next. Failure is not a wall, it is a bridge. The only true failure is refusing to try again. When you see mistakes as stepping stones instead of roadblocks, your journey becomes unstoppable. How does discipline create freedom? At first, discipline sounds like restriction. People think discipline means no fun, no rest, no choice. But the truth is the opposite. Discipline creates freedom. When you discipline your time, you gain control over your days. When you discipline your money, you gain financial peace. When you discipline your study habits, you gain the freedom to communicate and connect. Without discipline, you are controlled by impulses, distractions, and emotions. With discipline, you are in charge. Think of English practice. If you wait until you feel like it, you may practice rarely and progress slowly. But if you discipline yourself to study every day, even for a short time, you create consistent growth. That growth gives you the freedom to express yourself in real conversations. Discipline is like building strong muscles. At first, it feels hard, but once the muscles are strong, life feels easier. Discipline does not remove joy, it multiplies it. It helps you focus on what truly matters, so you can live with clarity instead of chaos. Why is resilience the secret weapon of growth? Resilience is the ability to keep going when life is difficult. Everyone faces problems: loss, stress, rejection, doubt. What separates people is not the absence of challenges, but the way they respond. Resilience means you bend, but you do not break. You fall, but you rise again. This quality is essential for success because no journey is smooth. Resilient people do not see obstacles as permanent. They see them as temporary, as part of the path. This mindset gives them power. For example, when learning English, you will face days when progress feels slow. You may forget words, struggle with grammar, or feel embarrassed. Without resilience, you might give up. With resilience, you remind yourself that every mistake is practice, and every practice session adds up. Resilience is built like a muscle, through repeated use. Each time you recover from a setback, you grow stronger inside. Over time, this strength becomes unshakable. Life will always bring challenges, but with resilience, you can meet them with courage instead of fear. How does mindset shape your reality? Your reality is not only what happens to you, but how you interpret it. Two people can face the same situation and experience it completely differently because of mindset. One person sees failure as the end, the other sees it as a lesson. One person feels limited by mistakes, the other feels motivated to improve. The situation is the same, but the mindset changes the meaning. This is why transformation begins internally. When your mind is strong, the outside world cannot easily break you. You choose empowering interpretations instead of destructive ones. For example, if someone criticizes your English, you can think, "I am terrible, I should quit." Or you can think, "This feedback shows me what to improve next." One thought closes doors, the other opens them. Over time, these small interpretations shape your reality. A growth mindset creates opportunities. A fixed mindset creates limits. By training your mind to choose positive meaning, you train your life to move forward, even in hard times. Why does legacy matter in personal growth? Legacy is what remains after you are gone. It is the impact you leave on others, the influence of your words, actions, and choices. Legacy matters because it gives meaning to your growth. You are not only improving for yourself, but also for the people around you. When you build discipline, confidence, and resilience, you inspire others to do the same. Think of English learning again. When you practice daily and show courage, you might inspire your children, your friends, or your classmates. Your progress becomes a signal to others that growth is possible. Legacy is not about fame or money. It is about influence, kindness, and example. When you act as the person you want to be, you shape not only your future, but the future of those who watch you. And that is powerful. Every small action today can become part of a greater story tomorrow. Legacy reminds us that growth is not selfish. It is a gift you give to the world. What is the final message about mindset and action? The message is simple but life-changing. Transformation begins inside. Confidence, success, resilience, they are not gifts you wait for. They are built through action, self-belief, and discipline. By acting as if you are already the person you want to be, you slowly become that person. By choosing empowering self-talk, you direct your future. By embracing failure, you learn. By practicing discipline, you create freedom. And by building resilience, you ensure that no challenge can stop you. This is not only about English learning, but about life. Your mindset is the foundation, and your actions are the bricks. Together, they build the reality you want. So as you finish this episode, I invite you to reflect. Who do you want to become? What identity will you choose? And what action will you take today to step closer to that vision? Remember, the journey does not begin when you feel ready. It begins when you decide. And with each small decision, you are writing your story, building your strength, and shaping your legacy. Keep moving forward, because your future self is waiting.